Hi there, Natalie with you today with a new process video for Altenew. And today's project features the Creativity Kit Peony Hello set. And this set comprises the Mini Hello stamp set, the Peony Dream 3D die, and also the papers, the single papers from the Our Family collection. So I'm gonna combine them all to create a layout all about the relationship between my daughter and our dog, and they have a really tight bond, and whenever they get together there's always something fun happening. So what I'm gonna use, I had this idea of creating a cascade of frames for the background of this layout, just to make it a little bit create movement and bring some fun into the page. So I'm going to use the fine frames die. I'm going to use the rectangular ones, and I'm going to cut this wood grain paper that it comes included in the Our Family kit, and I'm going to cut 3 of them. And you're going to see that I'm going to use my mini blossom die cut set. I just got it and I love it. So I'm going to cut 3 of them, and before I take them completely out, I'm actually going to add a little piece of double-sided tape to the back of the frames, just to keep them together. I don't want to separate them. My idea is going to change while I'm working on this layout. I'm still going to use the frames, but at the beginning I was thinking of using the block frames behind, like a thick frame behind the pictures, but then later on I'm actually going to cut them in half, and having the double-sided tape on the back of the frames is actually going to help me to keep all those fine frames together. So you're going to see right now, I'm like, this is the first idea that I have in mind, and I picked this paper. It's also from the Our Family collection, and I really love the stripes. I really love the color, and I thought that everything was going to stand out really nice. So you're gonna see right now I have an idea how everything's gonna look. I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting the Peony Dream die cut set. Those are beautiful flowers, and I'm actually gonna use some of the papers from the Our Family collection, but I'm also gonna bring some of the new gradient cardstock, just because it's gonna help me complement the flowers and make sure the papers stand out. So you're gonna see that I'm gonna go through some of the papers. I already have the tealish with green background with the stripes, so I want something that is going to stand out, and that's the beauty of working with a kit, is that all the colors have been curated to go together, so you can have a right or wrong, just a matter of choosing I'm going to say in this case a solid area that you can die cut from. So I picked these 2 papers, one because it has that kind of watercolor pinkish purple, so I know that I can use the shades of purple gradient cardstock to help me cut the flowers. And I'm also gonna pick that watercolor with the yellow and other colors, and I'm gonna bring the summer afternoon gradient color to help me with that. So all I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna use some of the shades of purple gradient cardstock just to cut some of the pieces of the flowers. I'm gonna just show you a little bit, and the advantage of having the gradient cardstock is that the colors have already been picked for you, so just a matter of die cutting pieces makes it super easy to create flowers in this case, and a lot of other things. So you're gonna see that all I'm doing is just using the die, and this die is one single die that's gonna cut 2 different flowers. It's kind of a composite. The first one's gonna cut like the simple shape, and then they give you the option of adding, I'm gonna say, like a background to it and make it a little bit fuller, more of an more blossomed flower. So you're gonna see that all right now I'm doing is I'm just picking the part of the paper that has most of the watercolor area. In this case is like the kind of purplish, kind of pinkish tone. So I'm going to cut some parts of the peony of that, and like I said, I'm just cutting it to show you how easy it is to cut the pieces, and how easy the gradient cardstock is gonna work into this and help me with the choice of the colors. But then I'm gonna go off camera and just cut all the papers away. So all I'm doing is right now just cutting using a combination of the gradient cardstock and the paper just to create my 3D flower, and it's super easy. You're gonna see that I'm gonna build this is the first part of my flower, and you're gonna see that I build the body of I cut the body of the flower, sorry, out of the gradient cardstock, and all the details I'm gonna cut them out of the papers in the Our Family collection. And for this I am bringing the center pieces that I had left over from the frames. Like, actually, it has a little bit of gray in it, and I want to bring that gray that I have in the pictures and also the gray that I have in the frames into the flowers. So I'm going to cut the centers out of them, and it's going to stand out because it has some lines of white and it's not that dark, so it's actually going to stand out against that dark purple from the gradient cardstock. And then this is what I'm building right now is the inside part of the flower. Like I'm gonna say one of the simple flowers. Then I'm gonna go ahead and cut, I'm gonna say the extra petals, the one that's gonna make the flower look like it's bigger. And all I'm gonna use is the gradient cardstock just to show you. And then you're gonna how easy it is to build this flower. But before I glue anything in place, I'm gonna go off camera and just cut away the flowers. And you're gonna see, like I said, I'm gonna cut out the yellow paper. I'm gonna try to use some of the yellow with the purple just to incorporate all the colors that I have there. And also I use the seashore and the I think it's green meadows just to cut some of the leaves. So right now that I have everything cut, and I cut 4 full flowers and 2 of the little ones, and then 6 leaves. So all I'm doing right now is just gluing everything in place. You're gonna see how easy it is to glue, and that's where the Peony Dream die set comes with a small guide at the front of the like the layering guide at the front of the packaging, and I'm just gonna follow that to build these flowers. But it's super simple, and it kind of builds on their own because everything like just kind of matches nicely, so it takes a lot of your guessing game away. And you're gonna see right now, I'm actually, like I said, I use some of the summer afternoon paper. I use the lightest shade of yellow to cut some of the bases, just because the paper didn't have enough of a yellow base for me to cut. So I just cut a few of the bases out of it, and it's gonna combine nicely, and it's gonna make all the details of the smaller dies stand out on these flowers. And again, I cut the centers out of the little pieces left over from my frames, and then all I'm doing is building it. You're gonna see that I use a combination of the cardstock, and I play with the paper a little bit just to have all the colors that it had in that watercolor paper, and it's gonna make it stand out. And I'm gonna put it against a base of the papers. Like I said, I made 4 big flowers. What I mean by 4 is like the complete flower, and then I made just 2 of the small ones, and they're super easy to layer. The only thing is when I created the big flowers, I added a little bit of a glue dot behind it just to add a little bit of dimension, create a bit of separation, make it actually stand out. Just because the colors, there's a lot of colors, especially in the multicolor ones. So just by creating that little bit of a shadow, the dimension, it helps that to bring it all together and not just look like a big blur. And that's about it. I'm gonna actually, now that I have everything set, I'm gonna start building the layer. And the first thing I did is I cut the frames. Like I said, my first thought was to keep them as a really big chunky frame, but the more I play with the idea, I want to bring some make it more delicate. So I'm gonna cut it just in half. And what I mean by half, I'm just gonna have like an inner frame and an outer frame that are thinner. And then my idea is I play with a few ideas, and the one that I decided on is having just like frames kind of like cascading on the background, just messy, and then have the pictures kind of cascading down the way. You're gonna see, so I'm playing with a few combinations of them, and it took me a while, just because I wanted to like create a nice balance between the flowers, the frames, and the pictures. So it took me a while to just come up with an idea. And then once I had it set in place, I was thinking, how am I going to keep him in place? So you're going to see that I'm going to start bringing a little bit of foam adhesive and just kind of sneaking it behind some of the frames. I'm not going to make all the frames stand out, just certain areas that I know I need to create that shadow. So once I've set the flowers in place, and all I'm doing is I'm going to play with them. I know that I want to create my visual triangle with the flowers, and once I'm happy with what the flowers look like, I also want to make sure that when I add the flowers, some of the corners of the frames show up so they don't just get hidden on the background. So once I'm happy with what everything looks like, and I'm making sure that I leave space on the right hand side of the layer, because I know that's where my title is gonna go, I'm gonna start adding, like I said, a bit of foam adhesive behind some of the frames just to make them stand out. I'm not gonna completely cover the frame, just some areas, because I want to make sure that some of the frames stand out, some of them are hidden, just to create some dimension. I want to cheat the idea of having a 3D composition when it's only a 2D composition. So you're going to see that I'm adding a little bit of foam to some pieces of it, and then I'm going to start kind of going again and building what I had in mind already, like I said, a cascade of frames. And once I have them in place, and I think I'm going to take it off camera in a bit just to play with it. Once I have them already, I'm going to actually hold it with one hand and start gluing it together, just because when I was happy with it, I didn't want it to move, and at the same time I didn't want to add the glue behind it because I knew it was gonna stick. So I'm gonna carefully lift some of the areas of the frames and add the adhesive behind it and just keep moving along that way. Once I have that in place, and you're gonna see that I'm gonna start right now. Once I have that in place, I'm actually gonna take it off camera to complete it. I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the flowers, and I have an idea where I want the flowers. I know I want them on the bottom left corner of the pictures, actually the frames. I also want a little bit kind of opposite on the right hand side of the frames, and also right at the top. It's just the way I build the, I'm gonna say, but magically I move the frames, it kind of created this triangle, and it's gonna help me to just define everything in that area. One of the things I did outside of the camera is add a piece of vellum behind each one of the pictures. I don't want to add more color because I think I have enough with the flowers, but I do want to give it that softness and create a little bit of separation between the frames and the picture. And vellum is translucent enough to kind of create that soft separation. So all I'm doing is adding a little bit of foam adhesive behind the pictures just to make them stand from the frames and create that dimension, that, you know, different level look for this page. And after that, I'm just gonna start setting the flowers where they're gonna go, just to make sure that I have them, that they make sense and they move them. And I'm going to try to create a combination of the multicolor flower with the more of a purplish tone flower. Once I have them in place, I'm actually going to take it off camera and add a little bit of foam adhesive behind them and glue and secure them in place. I just can't show you all of that because it's just, I don't think you want to see me adding the foam adhesive behind it. So once I have them all in place, and you're going to see that it didn't take me that long to set the flowers, and that's what I didn't want to cut that many because then I would get confused. I went for 6. I knew exactly that I wanted. They're big enough to have a set of 2 and fill up the page. So once I have that in place, I'm actually gonna bring the mini hello stamp set, and I'm gonna emboss the word hello. And I'm using the antique pigment ink from Altenew to stamp the word, and then I'm gonna use the clear transparent embossing powder to just add it on top of what I've already stamped, and then just gonna hit it with my gun. And then unfortunately I don't have the die that matches this word, so I had to fussy cut around it, and all I'm going to take is my time to detail around it. I'm going to leave a tiny little bit of white space just to make sure it stands out, and then I'm going to add some foam adhesive and add it to the right hand side of the layer, right where I have that empty space. After that, I brought a few alphas from my stash that were also gold, just going to continue the look of it, and I'm going to add the word fun. After that, I'm going to add just a few embellishments. I don't think I need to add much. I'm going to bring a chipboard heart from the Live Your Dream collection, and then the stickers that I'm gonna add are from the Reflections kit, and the other 2 are from my stash. After that, I'm gonna add my lines of journal in between the flowers at the bottom. There's that empty space there, and all I did outside of the camera is I went with the mini hello stamp set, that the one that comes included in the creativity kit, and a little bit of the gold ink, and just stamp the the center of the flower. There's a little circle with little dots around it, around some of the areas, just to bring a little bit more of that gold accent. And that's about it. I love how this turned out. I love the color. I love the color combination. I love how easy it was to put together. I think what took me the longest was playing with the frames, but I hope you try, and make sure you check the links at the description of this video, so you can get a direct link to find the kit, to find everything that I've used, also to go on the blog, see a little bit more close-ups. As always, remember to check out the new products. They're amazing, and also the creativity kits are being curated for you to create projects very easily. Thank you so much for joining me, guys, and I hope to see you soon. Take care.